What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy July. We're going to start the month of strong because I don't know if you guys remember the famous Mosul Orb image, because it was an image. It's this one right here. And it came from Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They only had permission to release this image. They did not have permission to release a video, which, according to these letters and these little signs and data points, it's from a video. But there needed to be a FOIA request battle between someone who knows how to use FOIA. FOIA is the Freedom of Information Act. It's a tool that you use to seek for documents and data from the government on the internet, and you have to be really specific so you can get what you want, because if you miss one word, one letter, you don't get what you're looking for. So I extend my extreme respect for everybody who uses FOIA and they use it properly and they know how to use it. It's an art, to be honest with you. Not everybody can do it. And somebody named Dustin Slaughter has a really cool Substack called the UAP Register. And Dustin was the one who won a battle against the Air Force through a FOIA request. And he got this famous Mosul Orb video released. And this is the first time in history that this happens. Never before has there been a U.S. government released UFO video through a FOIA lawsuit ever before. This is a first. So congratulations to Dustin. I hope that this marks the start of something big and more people can get more courage to start trying to use FOIA and understand FOIA, because it is a useful tool. However, if you guys don't recall, just to give you an example, nothing more, when David Grush came out, there was a hit piece on The Intercept from journalist Ken Klippenstein. And when he was interviewed about it, he revealed that he got a tip to get the documents of David Grush's psychological evaluations, where it said that he suffered from PTSD, which he used in the article. He said that he got that through a FOIA request and that he got a tip. So the issue here is that FOIA has turned into kind of like a double-edged sword, because although it is very useful, you really do need to learn how to use it. And it's not just that. You also sometimes don't get the information that you want, and it's not the end all be all of getting information. And some people do regard it as such. It's not. So, having said that, the use of the FOIA request by Dustin here was actually pretty remarkable, if you ask me. And we're just going to read a little bit of the article here from Dustin from his Substack. Go subscribe to the UAP Register, please, so you guys can see the work that he does. And I also want to give a big shout out to every UFO researcher out there who uses this tool and who just are like focused on the data. I really admire you guys. I'm just a year and a half deep into this. The way I started, because I know that I have to do a lot of research, the way I started is reading all the books that I can. So far, I'm about 50 plus in about a year, but I am going to go through a lot of documents afterwards. I have already gone through a lot of interviews and historical records on video, but it's a lot of work. So every researcher out there, I extend my respect. I salute you. And this includes Dustin, obviously. So this is the article that was also featured on Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp's Weaponized podcast. They were the ones who showed the video on their podcast, but Dustin was the one who got it from this battle. So here it is. U.S. Air Force releases new UAP video depicting metallic-looking sphere. The video, obtained through a lawsuit by the UAP Register, contributes to the recent as well as historical body of evidence of unidentified spheres reported by service members across the globe. The UAP Register has obtained new video from the U.S. Air Force depicting a metallic-looking sphere moving over the skies of Iraq, with no apparent means of propulsion. The video was released as part of a lawsuit filed by this publication against the U.S. Air Force in March 2024. The litigation remains ongoing, and the UAP Register continues to push for additional video releases. Wow, that's cool. The lawsuit follows Freedom of Information Act requests filed in 2023 for records of unidentified objects that were reported to the USAF National Air and Space Intelligence Center, NASIC. NASIC is located at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Surprise, surprise. That's where all the goodies are rumored to be kept. So that makes sense. A still image of the object, dubbed the Mosul Orb, was derived from the video that was first published by investigative reporter George Knapp and documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell in 2023 on their Weaponized podcast. The unidentified object was recorded over Mosul, Iraq in April 2016 by an MC-12 twin-engine reconnaissance aircraft. According to Knapp and Corbell, a spokesperson for Arrow was not immediately available to comment on the new video. I'm not surprised by that either. The footage adds further mystery to these spherical objects, which, according to the Pentagon's UAP Investigation Office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW, are the most prevalent types of UAP reported by service members. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to just leave a link to the full article in the description so you guys can read it all. But I do want to point out a couple of things, though, because UFOs do exist. They are real. They were acknowledged in 2017 in a semi-official capacity. And then afterwards, people like Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, even Trump, when he was speaking to Joe Rogan, there's a recent resurfaced video from Fox News where Trump is talking about spherical objects that people from the military do not understand and they don't know what they are. So these orbs or spherical objects have been cited for millennia. Those are the ones, and the eggs too, but those are the ones that presumably appear in the Bible even, that have been interpreted as religious connotations, angels and stuff like that. Those are real. We know of people who constantly see orbs. Some of them claim to attract them. There was a time last year on UFO Twitter when I was more involved in it, when I was tracking a group of experiencers, Parsi, Christian Carroll, and friend of the show who's been on the show and has a wonderful YouTube show, The Portal, Paul Ramos. They are three friends who are experiencers who constantly see these orbs. And they just go outside, they concentrate, and the orbs appear, and they film them. This is happening. This is real. No matter what the bunkers want to tell you about orbs, they always want to say that there's satellites or it's a plane light or it's Starlink. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes they are satellites. But these orbs are definitely real, and they are definitely appearing to people. So we know of those three guys. We know that Chris Bledsoe has a book about it. He has a religious connotation to it, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I do think that this is happening to him. And I also think that Mr. Chris Bledsoe is a good human. So I just don't agree with the way he interprets the orbs. That's it. So there's that. And those orbs are spherical too, but they are luminal. They are light orbs. And there are other orbs that are metallic in nature. And I just want to point out one little detail before I show you guys this video that Dustin got from this lawsuit. And it's this. This is a sculpture that exists in the Vatican in Rome. And this is an orb. And I would presume that this could be a representation of these objects that have appeared for millennia to people. I just find it fascinating that even the Catholic Church is aware that these things exist, they're real, and they also have their own interpretation of them. But this is pretty fascinating, in my opinion. There's another connection there for you. But let's go to the video. And then I'm going to play you a little clip from the Weaponized podcast so Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp can give you a little bit more detail and context on how this was attained and how Dustin managed to get it. But here it is. I present you the Mosul Orb video. It's really short. Let's keep playing it again. And again. Take your screen saves. So, funny enough, when the picture came out first, there were debunkers who instantly said that it was a water drop, lack of focus, a balloon, a lot of different interpretations. Shout out to Joe Murgia, who is good friends with George and Jeremy. He clipped this one, and I'm just going to play it for you guys so you guys can see what they said.
The Mosul Orb it was the first, and that's so cool because it was a combat zone, but it is still and relevant today. And even your pal, George, on May 1st, 2020, there was a classified briefing that was generated about UAP through the Office of Naval Intelligence. And your friend included this as one of the examples on the JWIX and SIPRNet and Interlink systems as UAP. So maybe Jay can talk more openly about it now that Dustin was able to achieve a public release of the video.
The following is the video of the Mosul Orb.
Let's watch it again.
It's pretty cool. I would be interested if those online detectives
on the right, that is Dustin Slaughter. So shout out to Dustin.
Can tell us if both the orb and the spy plane are moving, or if the spy plane is going past the orb and it's stationary. Maybe somebody can figure that out who knows more about this stuff than I do, but or either of us. Do either of you have an input on that?
More videos, according to Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, are trying to be released this way. This is going to set a precedent. It's a good day for people who are trying to get the truth out via official channels. Also, they stated that in about 2 weeks' time, presumably they are coming forward with a new person who, according to Jeremy Corbell, has firsthand knowledge on one of these programs. Let's see what happens. Let me know what you think about this new release video and the whole context of it, which is pretty significant, if you ask me. The very first UFO video from the US government released through a FOIA lawsuit against the US Air Force. That's pretty wild. Tell me what you think about that. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us. And it is what helps us the most. It only takes a few seconds. But if you want to support us in any other way, there's a few links down there you can choose from. You can support us through KGRA. You can become a member on YouTube. And I just want to remind you, the Psicoactivo podcast interviews are on every platform you can imagine now. Thanks to my friends at KGRA. Thank you, KGRA. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and very, very inquisitive like Dustin Slaughter. Kudos, man. Always. Bye.